The hardest thing about this song is the rhythm. I know that we could probably look up chords or tabs to the fingerings of this anywhere on the internet, so I'm going to let you do that if you don't already know it. And I want to spend our time here talking about some different ideas or how to count or how to approach the rhythm that I know so many players find difficult about this song two-step. In order to do it right, I think that first you need to understand how the subdivisions of count are taking place. If we count the song in a standard 1, 2, 3, 4 beats per measure, the accents will be taking place on the and notes. For instance, if you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 is subdivided in eighth notes by counting 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and on the ands is where you're getting an accent. So 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and, 1 and, 2 and, 3. So forth. So one way to start off trying to attempt this rhythm may be to just count and hit that accent on the ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now obviously there's a lot more wrist play that's happening in that than just that downstroke for the ands, but that might be the first step for figuring out where you're wanting to accent. The next thing is to realize that it's not just the and that is receiving an accent, but that if you subdivide again into 16th notes, you get a count that is 1 E and So you're dividing one note into 4 parts, and that's generally counted 1 E and is how I've always been taught to count it. And you're not just accenting the 1 E and in the middle, but you're also usually accenting the So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and whenever you subdivide into 16th notes. And whenever you're actually strumming and picking, you are picking the 16th notes across your chord structures, however you're fingering them. And you would be going 1 E and 2 E and but usually maybe a little bit faster than this, but I'm doing it at a rate that I can count 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and So once you get the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, you may want to start trying to add in your 16th notes and just focus on just 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and moving your chords down 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and then where the more color comes into this is whenever you add the minor third on your D minor note down here and you're strumming through the entire chord. Usually what I hear happening in the strums is that your 1 E's are in the bassier side of your chord and your and are in your more trebly side of the chord, and you're getting this kind of back and forth between 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and So again, very slow, you would be going 1 E and I'm doing up down for both 1 E and 2 E and and that speed up may be a good practice, starting it off slow, just so that you can train your wrist what you're doing, and then just as a train would gain momentum, make your hand do that. Another thing to consider whenever you're doing this is, because this is such of a rhythm-driven song, if you're having trouble with the chord formations, I would suggest that you just force your left hand to figure it out and drive through with this rhythm no matter what. If you're trying to practice and learn this thing all at the same time, maybe you already know the chord structures and you're just struggling with rhythm. But if you're trying to learn both at the same time, I would say, in terms of practice, force your rhythm hand to always be hitting that rhythm, and let your left hand do catching up as necessary. If you're trying to think about it too much, your movements are going to start to split apart and the whole thing will come unraveled or unglued. Force your left hand to keep up with the rhythm in how you're moving up and down the neck. All right, maybe this will give you some ideas on how to approach the rhythm for two-step.